What's going on, guys? Welcome back. As you can see, I got a boom arm, so my sound quality should be a lot better going forward. I hope so anyway. This week's video is going to be kind of quick. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an end screen for your YouTube videos. End screens are pretty important. Kind of something to end the video with that catches the eye, but it also presents your subscribe link in next video. It's a fairly simple process. The program I'm going to be using is Adobe Photoshop. There's always free samples on the internet you can use, or you can pay cheaper subscriptions to other websites to help you. But I pay the $50 a month to use all the Adobe programs, just because I don't just use Photoshop, I use Premiere and After Effects as well. If you guys ever have any questions, you can always catch me on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. MST. But with that, let's get straight to it. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to go to Google and you want to search up a background you want to use for your end screen. I normally go with anime themes. Standard end screen size is 1920 by 1080. So I usually go anime background, and then I do 1920 by 1080. And then I just go to images and I look around for just something that I think is poppy, something that catches my eye. When you find that background, you can just copy it and paste it. What I'm doing right now as I record this is editing my end screen for last week's video. So yeah, once you found what you liked on the internet, you can copy it and then create a new layer down here in the corner. And once you go to that layer, click on it and press Ctrl V to paste it onto that layer. Now, anytime you're dealing with the background, there's always some basics to know. You can always go down here, click on this circle and create an adjustment layer. Normally the things that I use are hue and saturation and color balance. So let's say I create a hue and saturation layer, which, by the way, always pay attention to this little square right here. Let's say you have one layer underneath another and you have this arrow turned off. It applies to everything underneath the hue and saturation layer, but if you turn it on, it only applies to the one directly below it. Hue and saturation is just something you can use to change colors and stuff like that. You can change saturation, darken it, lighten it, play around with it and just make it look how you want. However, I like the background color the way it is, so I don't need to mess with any of that kind of stuff. So I can just delete these, and then it's back to normal. After you find your background and you mess with some coloring, the next thing you want to do is you want to create a template. So in this layer right here, I have a photo that I found on Reddit. This is the basic dimensions of an end screen, and when you have your end card, this is the boundary that you're allowed to put your subscribe card and like your next video and stuff like that. I'll leave a link to this photo down in the description below, but for now, I'm going to show you guys what I did to create my own template. Go to your YouTube channel and go to YouTube Studio. After you go to Studio, you can go to Videos and then click on whatever one you want. Go to Edit, and then you want to click down here on End Screen. Once you click on this, it's going to have a template format for you on the current video that you're working on. You want to full screen this, and then you want to look for your snipping tool. And then you just want to take a screenshot of this. After you take that screenshot, you want to save it to your files. I have a little end screen folder with a background section where I created my end screen template. Go down here to create another new layer, and then take that end screen template and drag it. Now you see that you have your end screen template above your background layer. The next thing you're going to want to do is you want to create a rectangle and an ellipse that match the dimensions of both your subscribe and your next video. The reason this is important is to make sure that everything is aligned and squared away when you're creating your text. To create your shapes, you can go to this tool over here, right click on it, and you'll see the ellipse tool and the rectangle tool. Don't forget that when you're creating these shapes, you want them to be on separate layers so you can edit them individually. And also, when you're creating the ellipse, you want to hold down Shift while you're dragging so it creates a perfect circle. To edit the size of the circle, you can press Ctrl T. Now, I'm really lazy and I don't like to do this every single time. So what I do is when I save those end screens, I always go back to old ones and pull those shapes over. So as you can see, when I click on my current project, it shows me my current layers. And when I click on my old project, it shows me those layers. I have a dual monitor setup. I just drag this one over to my other screen, click on it, drag the rectangle over, click on it again, drag the ellipse over. Now, as you can see, they're aligned and in place, but with the template. Now, you might be asking, with a different background, what if you want to place them in a different area? What you can do is you can go to your template and you can decrease the opacity. This way, you can still see the line of the border, but still place them in accordance with your current background. And now that they're in place, you can turn off the visibility of your template. Now, your last steps for the end screen are to create the text. Over here with the text tool, click below and type next video. Control T to highlight the layer. Shift and increase the size to whatever you need it to be. You can always double click on the layer and change the color to whatever you want it to be. Your next step in improving text quality would be to click on the layer and then go over here to effects. I usually add a drop shadow just to make the text pop a little more. Set the distance to about 15, the spread to about 25, and the size to about 13, and have the opacity at about 75 to 80. Since this is just an end screen, you really only need simple text. You don't need to do a whole lot with it because it's not like a thumbnail where it needs to catch people's attention. It's just basically to get the point across, to click on the next video, or to subscribe. And as long as it's easy to see, in my opinion, that's all that matters. So what you can do next is select that layer, hold down the Alt key, and drag it up for a copy. Now you can double click and type in subscribe. Center it with a circle, and now you're free to change the color so it's a little different. Now that you have the text the way you want it, you can always press Alt and scroll down on the mouse wheel, minimize it, make sure everything's easy to see, and then what you can do next is go down here to all your layers, take the visibility off of the rectangle and the ellipse, take a good look at it, and if it looks okay, you're good to save. Now that that's saved, you can always throw it into the end of your video without exporting it. Go to your latest project and double click in the file section, go to wherever your end screen is, click OK, and then drag it over. Now keep in mind that for every YouTube video, the end screen that's shown only lasts for about 20 seconds. So when you're editing your video, you want to make sure that this last stretch of music or whatever else is going on at the end only lasts for about 20 seconds. So you can drag that over to match. I've been editing the video, so I know it's only about 15 seconds. But as you can see, the dimensions are off. Go here, go to effect controls, and then I think it's usually about 67. And there you go. Now it's in your video, the end screen's there, and when you go and throw it up on YouTube, all you have to do is mess with the timing and throw in your subscribe in your next video, and it'll pop up right in place. So yeah, that's how you make an end screen. Super simple, doesn't take a lot of detail. A lot of people, especially if they're fans of yours, they don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. They're either clicking on that next video or going to your profile to subscribe. Pretty simple stuff, pretty straightforward. I hope this video helped you guys out. For anybody out there that's trying to make their own content, I know when I first started, it was really difficult knowing all the things that I had to learn. And I know with Photoshop especially, I didn't see a ton of tutorials that were super helpful, especially when it came to finding the dimensions and the screenshots and stuff like that. So I really hope this helped you guys out. Hopefully sometime in the future I'll be putting out a video on maybe how to make a thumbnail or something like that. I don't know. Drop your guys' ideas in the comments, and also you guys can always stop by my stream. Again, I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. MST on Twitch. You guys can always stop by and show some love. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me, and I'll see you in the next one.